Celebrating Earth Day, find out what the DC community is doing to help protect the environment. And working out to get smarter, a new study looks at how exercise affects your brain. A special health and environment edition of District Wire News starts right now. Good afternoon, I'm Daniela Vlacic. Earth Day was this Sunday, April 22nd, and marks the anniversary of the environmental movement that began in the 70s. Vanessa Jesus-Gonzatti looks at how one Washington community is making its contribution.
April is not only the peak of spring in Washington, D.C. All over the world it has been Earth Month, and April 22nd is Earth Day. Activities are going on all around the city, and in Northwest D.C., Lafayette Park held Cleanup Day Saturday.
The Friends of Lafayette Park hold this event twice a year, and what better way to celebrate Earth Day weekend than by cleaning up?
Paul Rosenbaum is a member of the Friends of Lafayette Park group and says the community is becoming more and more environmentally aware.
And the general idea is to get the community aware of the fact that we have to be responsible for the park, and so it's our job to keep it clean.
Jane Snyder is a volunteer who taught environmental studies for 25 years and is now retired, so she says she has decided to clean up the park in D.C. Snyder says she has picked up 734 cans and bottles in less than a year.
This is my way of kind of giving back what the park has given me over all the years. April in Washington is not to be surpassed in the world. It's just wonderful with all of the azaleas and everything. We just love the earth more than ever.
Earth Day was celebrated across D.C. with activities like Earth Day at the National Zoo, an Earth Day water cruise around the Potomac, and a watershed cleanup around Anacostia. From Washington, D.C., I'm Vanessa Jesus-Gonzatti.
A new LED light bulb went on the market Sunday after winning the Bright Tomorrow competition. The bulb is expected to last 20 years and was developed by Dutch electronic company Philips. The Department of Energy held the competition to find alternatives to the 60-watt incandescent bulb, but Philips was the only company to enter the contest. This new bulb uses diodes that emit light to provide illumination, more efficient than filaments. The 100-watt bulb has already been phased out in the U.S., and by 2014, bulbs of 40 watts or higher will be banned as well. Philips' new LED bulb costs $60. Vietnam is appealing to the international community to help identify a mystery illness. 19 people died and 171 others contracted an unknown skin infection in one of the poorest areas in central Vietnam. The illness started as a rash but ends in multiple organ failure. Health experts say if it's caught very early on, it can be treated. The Vietnamese government says it's asking the World Health Organization and the U.S. Center for Disease Control to help with the investigation. Health researchers in Scotland say a simple stroll can help fight depression. The findings, published in the journal Mental Health Physical Activity, were a combination of 8 studies that included 341 patients. The report shows that walking has similar health benefits to other more active forms of exercise, but says that research is still needed. It has already been proven that exercise reduces stress, but scientists still don't know exactly how any physical activity helps with depression. Some say it might distract people from their troubles. Another study says exercising makes you smarter. The University of Illinois conducted a study on mice showing that physical activities build brain power better than thinking does. Exercising appears to protect the brain from physical shrinkage and enhances its cognitive flexibility. The brain is a tissue, and scientists say that underuse and aging reduce the brain's functions. Starting in our late 20s, each year people will lose about 1% of the volume of the hippocampus, a key portion of the brain related to memory and certain types of learning. Exercise seems to slow or reverse the brain's physical decay, much as it does with muscle. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention said the U.S. logged 222 cases of measles last year, significantly higher than the average of 60 cases a year over the past 15 years. In all the reported cases, the virus was imported either from U.S. citizens traveling abroad or from foreigners entering the country. According to a report issued by the CDC, 141 of the people who contracted the virus were eligible for a vaccine, but for a variety of reasons did not receive it. Some of the other cases were contracted by people who are not eligible for the vaccine due to other medical conditions. If you're planning to have a baby, a simple blood test can now help determine the future of your fertility. CNN's Susan Hendricks explains.
After getting married, a simple blood test would have told Amy and Tim Hoffman not to wait too long before starting a family.
We definitely always thought that we'd be parents.
Although she was in her early 30s, Amy didn't have many reproductive eggs left, a discovery her doctor made after giving Amy an AMH test. It's a blood test that can determine roughly how many eggs a woman has at any point in time. It's not expensive, but it's so new, your doctor may not even know about it.
This actually can tell you on a score of less than 0.1, which is the lowest number, up to 4 or greater, how many eggs you might have left as your ovarian reserve.
You may not know that a woman's eggs may not necessarily age in tandem with her body. That means it's possible for a female in her mid-30s to have the eggs and thus the fertility chances of a woman much older.
Many of these ladies actually have lower ovarian reserve, or the number of eggs left, than we ever had anticipated. We're not sure why, but we're trying to get more of the young women to at least get that test done so they would know where they stand.
Amy went through in vitro fertilization and became pregnant. Women without a partner can still get an AMH test and freeze their eggs if the test comes back low. For today's Health Minute, I'm Susan Hendricks.
A penguin was stolen from SeaWorld Australia last week, but has been returned and is back safe and sound with his colony. 3 drunk tourists from Wales between the ages of 18 and 21 broke into the park on Saturday night. They claimed to have swam with the dolphins and then later snatched the penguin. The young men allegedly woke up in their rental apartment to find the penguin in their unit, panicked, and then released him in a nearby river, but not before posting photos on Facebook. A couple found the penguin and a SeaWorld employee rescued it, returning it to safety. The 3 men face charges for trespassing, stealing, and unlawfully keeping a protected animal. It appears polar bears have been lying about their age. Experts believe the Arctic animal are 5 times older than we thought. An international team at the Biodiversity and Climate Research Center in Germany says polar bears date back some 600,000 years. And they evolved gradually over several of the Earth's coldest periods. With little time to adapt to the rapidly changing climate, the new findings mean polar bears may face a more severe threat than previously thought, thanks to human activity. Experts say climate change and hunting pose the greatest danger to the bear survival. Coming up, find out what's happening on the sun. We have some new amazing images you won't want to miss. And keeping bees for honey, we'll tell you about a class that'll show you how to become a beekeeper. Stay with us.